My name is Cipha, Sound, Big Dog Pitbull, Hot 97, New York City. You gotta respect the next. You know why? Because the past is over. The present is now, so it's gone. You just gotta respect the next, because that's who's next. Not the R&B group next, even though I did like them, they had some hits. Remember that shit with Big Pun? But we're not talking about them, we're talking about respectthenext.com, okay? I gotta go.
Yo, it's Elliot Wilson from Rap Radar. Checking out respectthenext.com.
Please give it up for my boy, the YN, Elliot Wilson! The GOAT!
They yelling mafia, mafia, who the fuck is stopping you? Nobody on top of us, you and our way we dropping you, that's living. The way we spitting, yeah, we gon' get it, this is how we living. They yelling mafia, mafia, who the fuck is stopping you?
But now tuning to Respect the Next Television, I got the hip-hop GOAT, Elliot Wilson. It's an honor to have you, man. You made the Improv introduction.
Yeah, I was scared, man.
It's like an introduction to the theater, the big screen.
No, just supporting my boy Cipha Sounds.
Okay.
He had told me about it for a while, and he was like, "You gotta come check it out." I was like, "Check it out." You know, I'm more bold. I'm like, I want to be part of it. Like,
Seemed
what
like a
I have to do?
natural.
Yeah, I thought I could laugh or some shit. I didn't know what it really entailed.
Yeah.
And just to see him and his cast of guys, like, they did an amazing job. And what worked out really great tonight was I had Donald Glover, Challenge Gambino on my show, and he's already friends with Cipha, and I was like, "Yo, I'm going to this thing." He's like, "Oh, that's tonight." So he came, yeah, and he did an amazing job working with them, and like, they did such a great job. You think it's like rehearsed, but I know from being with, Donald just seconds ago, he didn't even have any plans to do this. So
that's proof right there.
It's an amazing performance. You definitely should always check it out every Friday here at the UCB Theater. Congrats to Cipha for this new brand he's developed.
So you're the main person I want to talk to about hip-hop. 2013 is like the golden year for hip-hop. I just want to know your top 5 albums, man. I always wanted to ask you that, your top 5 favorite albums.
Oh man, I don't even know what order. I like that a lot. I like a lot of albums. I think Drake's album is still the best album to me. I like Cole's album. I like Cole's album. I like Wale's album. I like Tyler's album. Those come to my mind. Let's not do an order, but other than Drake being number 1, I think we go up to him. But there was a lot of great music this year. I think next year, the most excited I am for is Kendrick Lamar.
Definitely.
Because he makes such a classic in a certain vein, it's going to be interesting to see the direction of the next album.
Next one, it's a lot of pressure on him,
And he just
man.
did this thing with Dre for a commercial.
Yeah, I just
and it
saw
was
it.
dope. So
Yeah.
is it going to have more Dre production? Like, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. So, now I'm in the mode of like, I really appreciate what a great year it was, but now we're in December. So it's kind of like wrapping up this year and like focused on,
Gearing up for the
okay,
next.
2014, what are we really looking forward to? Because I want to make sure we don't fall off like that. We had a great year. I don't want to have a whack 2014. We're like, 2013 was hot. And we're like, what's missing in 2014? So I want 2014 to be just as like productive and like exciting hip hop, and I hope it is.
Let's talk about hip-hop journalism and the internet. How do you feel when you've been in the game from the beginning, from 92? So you've seen the progress from the internet and everything. Do you think it's advanced or take a step back for hip-hop journalism?
Well, it empowers everybody to be authorities or have an opinion, So you can't hide behind this tag. I'm a journalist and you're unqualified.
Yeah.
Everyone has a voice. Anyone could break news. Anyone could add to the conversation. So, but I think that it hasn't ruled my position. Like I try to stay at the forefront of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I do bring a certain skill set that maybe certain people don't have. So I think it's more of a challenge because news can come from anywhere at all times, and you have to be on top of it. It's a 24/7 job now, where there was a lot more structure back in the day.
So you have Crown, Rap Radar, you made Double XL, Source. What's next for Elliot Wilson, man?
I'm more brands. I like creating things, Like I'm about to try to launch something in January that I think is going to really impact the culture.
Okay.
I'm not going to announce it fully yet, but it's not official yet, but it's going to be something I think is needed. And I have another brand idea that I have that I might launch next spring. So I definitely want to create more stuff. Instead of being like, you got too much, I want the challenge of trying to create more, and each thing that I do is distinctive from the other things that I do, and I try to be good to my partners and just keep going. So I just want to keep creating myself, That's what inspires me and keeps me going,
So I ain't gonna take too much of your time, but I can't let you go with the action about my favorite rapper, James. So what's one thing about about Jay-Z that you know that nobody else knows, that people don't give him enough credit for, or something that...
Well, I think he shared it. I think that like he just did this recent post where he ranked his own albums in order.
Yeah,
like, I think that what people didn't know about Hov before he did that is that he loves those conversations. Like he loves to like debate his own shit and his legacy and what worked and what didn't work. And you know, he's able to kind of step out of himself and analyze his missteps and his many triumphs and his few missteps. So I thought that was interesting that he finally shared that with the world with his idea. You know, you can agree or disagree, but I think it's very rare to have an artist that like can look outside of himself and have a real perspective. Yeah, and he has such a catalog that, you know, it's undeniable. So I thought that was cool that he shared that, but knowing him for so long, you know, those are debates that we would have or B-Dot would have with him. And, you know, if you were privileged enough to be in his inner circle, you know, we've debated these things and talked about these things. So it was great to see him share with the world.
Thanks for having me, man. You hip-hop go right here. Respect the next, over and out.
What's up?
I got Cipha Sounds with me.
That's me.
Legendary DJ. Let's talk about the history of your improv show. How did this come about?
This particular show, I started in April 2012.
Okay.
I've been taking classes at this spot. It's called the Upright Citizens Theater.
Okay.
Improv theater. I've been taking classes for like 2.5 years. And through the process, I'm a hustler. I took my hip hop energy and brought it to the improv world. And I just started meeting the right people, doing a lot of indie shows. I do shows in like basements and bars and like there's no audience. But I've just been working at my craft eventually to the point where I started bringing in my hip hop connections with the improv world, and I knew it would blow up. And like every Friday, packed, sold out.
I see it. Great turnout, man. So that's a good segue to the next question, because Trinidad James said a lot of the big radio stations don't give credit to a lot of the underground. So how do you feel about that? Did he call you out, or you just feel like...
No, I mean, we're not underground.
Exactly.
We're a commercial, mainstream, money-making radio station. Underground belongs in the underground. Now, I know all the DJs at Hot 97 have different artists that they love, that's from the streets, that we try to give a handout to. Not a handout, but like extend our hand to. And like right now, I feel it's Troy Ave. You know what I'm saying? But we also help out with Action Bronson. Rosenberg, forget it, his show is all about the underground. So it's like, we're not an underground station. We have underground shows. We represent underground artists. We do underground events. But you have to understand, radio is not in the music business. Radio is in the advertising business. And there's people that their job is to sell advertising. And the music we play in between the commercials is just to get the most listeners we can possibly get. So it's not about breaking the music. It's about getting people to listen to sell advertising. And I don't know why people don't understand it. It's business. Underground is for internet, mixtapes, street events, clubs, like for underground.
So I always wanted to ask you, that was Jay Hobbs. Where did the Cipha Don't Get Gas come from? I know Flex said it, but when
it was like when I first started interning with Flex, I had gotten a drop from Russell Simmons.
Oh, wow.
Right? Russell Simmons was there, my first drop I ever got. He's like, yo, this is Russell Simmons chilling with Cipha Sound. Flex just yelled out, Cipha Don't Get Gas. So like a year later, when I started filling in for Flex on the radio, I only had one drop. So I would play this Russell Simmons chilling with Cipha Sound, Cipha Don't Get Gas. And then I go out the streets and people be like, yo, don't get gas. I was like, I'm gonna take Russell part off and just play Don't Get Gas.
Put the Mac toast to your heart slow. You feel me, homie? Mac toast leave you comatose. See your whole cruise is cheese and jammed, homie. The ham is flying.